Most men don't lose in life because they're lazy. They lose because nobody ever taught them the skills that actually matter. School taught you subjects like math, history, and science. But some of life's most valuable skills are learned outside the classroom, the skills that determine how far you'll go in life. And today, I'm going to show you 4 of them. The first skill is purpose. But before you think you've heard this 1,000 times, let me ask you something. What makes someone wake up every morning, overcome adversity, and keep moving forward? Most people would say it's motivation. I don't think that's the real answer, because motivation comes and goes. Some days you wake up feeling unstoppable. Other days, you don't feel like doing anything. If success depended on motivation alone, nobody would stay consistent for long. The men who build great lives don't rely on it. They rely on something much stronger, something that keeps them moving when motivation disappears, something that gives meaning to every sacrifice they make. That's purpose. But if purpose is so powerful, why do so many people struggle to find it? Here's where most people get it wrong. They think purpose is something you magically discover one day, like you'll wake up and suddenly know exactly what you were born to do. That's rarely how it works. Purpose isn't something you find overnight. It's something you build. It grows as you try new things, face new challenges, and discover what truly gives meaning to your life. The more experiences you have, the clearer your direction becomes. So if you still don't know your purpose, ask yourself one question. What kind of problems would I be willing to spend the next 10 years solving? Because purpose isn't about finding the perfect dream. It's about finding a reason strong enough to keep moving forward when everything inside you wants to stop. But having a purpose isn't enough. You also need to know how to get there. That's where the second skill makes all the difference. No matter what you want to achieve, someone has already done it. They've faced the obstacles, made the mistakes, and figured out what works. Fortunately, you don't have to figure it all out yourself. Everything they've learned is already available. You can find it in books, interviews, documentaries, courses, and biographies. And today, thanks to the internet, that knowledge is more accessible than ever before. The question is, will you spend years figuring out how to get there on your own, or learn from someone who's already done it? Because knowledge can save you years of trial and error, helping you reach your goals much faster. But saving time isn't its greatest benefit. There's something even more important. It changes the way you think. The more you learn, the more opportunities you see, the fewer mistakes you make, and the easier it becomes to solve problems. That's why the most successful people never stop learning. They understand that every book, every conversation, and every experience expands the way they see the world. That's the real power of knowledge. It doesn't just help you get where you want to go, it shapes the person you become along the way. But you can have a clear purpose and all the knowledge in the world, and still accomplish nothing. Because knowledge without a plan rarely turns into results. That's why the third skill is planning. Think about building a house. You wouldn't start laying bricks without a blueprint. Before the first brick is placed, every room, every measurement, and every detail has already been planned. Without it, the house would never come together. That's exactly how most people approach their lives. They know where they want to go, but they don't have a plan to get there. As a result, they never know where to start, so they keep putting it off. They tell themselves they'll do it tomorrow, then next week, then next month. Before they realize it, months or even years have passed. So how do you stop this cycle? By creating a plan that tells you exactly what to do. The good news is that it's much simpler than you think. A good plan only needs 3 things: a main goal, intermediate goals, and daily tasks. The main goal is the outcome you want to achieve. It gives you a clear direction to work toward. Intermediate goals are the milestones that lead to your main goal. They make big goals feel less overwhelming. Daily tasks are the actions you repeat every day. They're the habits and behaviors that move you closer to your intermediate goals. Now let's put this into practice. Imagine your main goal is to get in shape. How do you turn that into a real plan? It all starts with one simple question. What are the main areas I need to improve to achieve that goal? In this case, the answer is exercise, nutrition, hydration, and sleep. Those become your intermediate goals. Now ask yourself another question. What can I do every day to improve each of those areas? You'll end up with something like this. Going to the gym. eating 5 meals a day, drinking 2 liters of water, and getting 8 hours of sleep. Those become your daily tasks. See what happened? Getting in shape no longer feels like one overwhelming goal. Now it's just a series of simple actions you repeat every day. And that's exactly what a good plan does. This is just a simple example. You can make your plan much more specific by defining the exact physique you want to build, the workout routine you'll follow, the foods you'll eat, and exactly when you'll do each task. The more specific your plan is, the easier it becomes to achieve your goal. But there's one problem. A great plan is useless if it stays on paper. At some point, you have to take action. That's why the fourth and final skill is execution. At this point, you know exactly what to do. So what's stopping you from doing it? For most people, it comes down to two things: procrastination and perfectionism. And the only way to overcome them is to understand how they work. Let's start with procrastination. You've probably experienced it hundreds of times. You know exactly what you should be doing, but choose to do something else instead. That's procrastination. It sounds irrational, doesn't it? So why do we do it? Part of the answer goes back to how our brains evolved. For most of human history, energy was limited. Wasting it could mean not having enough to survive. As a result, our brains learn to avoid tasks that require a lot of effort whenever possible. At the same time, they're naturally drawn to activities that provide quick and easy rewards. That's why scrolling through social media, watching videos, playing games, or doing almost anything else feels easier than doing the work that moves your life forward, because they give you an instant reward, while your goals often take weeks, months, or even years to pay off. Now that you understand why it happens, how do you deal with it? The first thing you need to accept is this: you'll never get rid of procrastination completely. Some days you'll fail. Some days you won't do what you know you should do. And that's normal. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to make procrastination happen less often. One of the best ways to do that is by understanding your energy levels. Everyone is different, but most people have the most energy early in the day. That's when you should tackle your most important work. Think of your energy like a health bar in a video game. When you wake up, it's full, but every decision, every task, and every distraction slowly drains it. The more demanding a task is, the more energy it requires. So if you leave your hardest work until the end of the day, there's a much higher chance you'll procrastinate. That's why it's so important to do your most difficult tasks while your energy bar is still full. Will that eliminate procrastination? No, but it will make it much harder for procrastination to win. Unfortunately, procrastination isn't the only thing that gets in the way. There's also perfectionism. It doesn't even seem like a problem. After all, what's wrong with wanting to do your best? The problem starts when perfection becomes a requirement instead of a goal. If you tell yourself you'll start once you're more prepared, after you've learned a little more, once you have more time, or when your plan is perfect, you'll never get anywhere, because you'll never feel completely ready. Look at the people who are making progress. They aren't perfect. They simply keep taking action, because they understand that improvement comes from experience. That's why they don't wait for everything to be perfect. They know their first attempt won't be their best. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Every attempt makes the next one better. That's how real progress happens. So don't wait until you feel ready. Start now and improve along the way. You've just learned the 4 skills that can help you achieve almost any goal. Purpose gives you direction. Knowledge shows you the path. Planning turns that path into clear actions. Execution transforms those actions into results. Master these 4 skills, and you'll be able to achieve almost any goal you set for yourself. But achieving your goals isn't just about what you do. Sooner or later, you'll also have to deal with people. Learning how to connect with them is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. So if you want to learn how to make people like you instantly, this is the next video you should watch.